feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG, and this is yet another March of the Machine spoiler video coming at your way. So we just finished up with the flippy red blue spell shaper card that has, when it flips over, it has a double prowess on it. So that was interesting. And now we're going to get into Rona of the Invasion. Rona, Herald of the Invasion, is a blue and 1 for a 1/3 legendary human wizard. If you cast a legendary spell, untap Rona, Herald of Invasion. Tap it to draw a card and then discard a card. And transform it for a Phyrexian black and 5. But then it becomes Rona, Tolarian Obliterator. What? Another Obliterator card? It's a 5/5 legendary Phyrexian wizard with trample. Whenever a source deals damage to Rona Obliterator, that source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield under your control. Otherwise, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Well, that would certainly fit well in that Hazoret to Zero deck, because this is a legendary, and that cares about legendaries, and this cares about legendaries. So that would fit well, and you get, when you flip it over, you get the extra bonus of getting extra lands. So that also helps out with legendary spells. This is another card to look out for. I'm going to say this card goes somewhere, both playability and value-wise. So, hoo-ha! Next up, we have Invasion of Eldraine. A black and 3 for a 4 damage battle. When it enters the battlefield, the opponent discards. So it's black and 3 for a 4 damage battle. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent discards 2 cards. Well, sounds like what those black pixies do, the black fairies do in Eldraine. But yeah, defeat the battle, flip it over, becomes 2/2 fairy. Prickle Fairies. 2/2 fairies with flying. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 2 or fewer cards in hand, Prickle Fairies deals 2 damage to them. So it's all about 2s. 2/2. Fairies with 2/2s. Next up, we have Collective Nightmare. Oh, that doesn't sound good. A black and 2 for an instant with Convoke. Target creature gets -3/-3 till end of turn. Well, that could definitely ruin somebody's day. Next up, we have Rampaging Raptor. 2 red and 2 for a 4/4 dinosaur with trample and haste. That's some serious value in itself. 4 mana for a 4/4 dinosaur. That's nothing to sneeze at. But it also has trample and haste. And it has, for a red and 2, it gets +2/+0 till end of turn. So this thing is pumpable. And whenever Rampaging Raptor deals combat damage to an opponent, deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls or battle that player protects. Oh, that could hurt. This thing could see some definite play. Yeah, it's rare. But I like this. Next up, we have another flippy card in Blight Reaper Thallid. A black and 1 for a 2/2 fungus. Transform it for a Phyrexian green and 3. Flips over to a Blight Solar Thallid, which is a 3/3 Phyrexian fungus. When it transforms into Blight Solar Thallid or dies, create a 1/1 green Phyrexian Saproling creature token. Okay. Now we got up on a whole bunch of other battles. So first up is Invasion of Theros. So, white and 2 for a 4 damage battle. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an aura, god, or demigod card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. That's not bad. It flips over into Ephara Ever Sheltering, a 4/4 legendary enchantment creature god. Ephara Ever Sheltering has lifelink and indestructible as long as you control at least 3 other enchantments. Well, whenever another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. That could be very, very good. Kind of a blue-white enchantment deck type feel to it. Next up, we have Invasion of Ixalan. A green and 1 for a 4 damage battle. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. But you may reveal a permanent card from among them, put it into your hand, and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. Defeat the battle, flip it over, and it becomes Belligerent Regisaur, a 4/3 dinosaur with trample. If you cast the spell, Belligerent Regisaur gains indestructible till end of turn. That could be definitely interesting. Very playable. I've always, from what I see of these battles, they're very playable cards, very useful in, both sides. Next up, we have Invasion of New Capenna. A black and white for 4 damage battle. When Invasion of New Capenna enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice an artifact or creature. When you do, exile target artifact or creature under control. I gotta laugh at the flip side of this. It's just a funny name. Holy Frazzle Cannon. Whenever an equipped creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, and each other creature you control that shares a creature type with it equipped for 1. So it turns into an equipment that gives the creature the +1/+1 counter, and every creature type that shares a creature type with it. That's just funny. Holy Frazzle Cannon, Catman! Kind of funny because I did that as a funny joke because the quote down here is by Jetmir, who's a cat man. Next up, we have Invasion of Pyrulia. A green and a blue for a 4 damage battle. When it enters the battlefield, scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land or double face card, draw a card. Defeat the battle, flip it over to Gargantuan Slabhorn, which is a 4/4 beast with trample and ward 2. Other transformed permanents you control have trample and ward 2. Okay, so that goes in like a transforming deck. Next up, we have Invasion of Ren. A blue and 3 for a 4 damage siege. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards and discard a card. And then it flips over into an artifact named Overloaded Mage Ring. An artifact that says pay 1, tap it, sacrifice it, and copy target spell you control. Okay, well, if you're playing with some copy spells and stuff like that. Next up, I think this is the last. I'm not sure. I think this is the last of the Praetors in Urabrask. 2 red and 2 for a 4/4 Phyrexian Praetor with first strike. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, deals 1 damage to target opponent and it adds a red mana. You pay a red mana, exile Urabrask, and return it to the battlefield, transform under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery, only if you cast 3 or more instant or sorcery spells this turn. So you're talking about like a speed deck you want to do this in. Bink, 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 bink. It flips over into the Great Workhouse. Enchantment Saga, Chapter 1 is Great Work deals 3 damage to target opponent and each creature they control. Solid. Chapter 2, create 3 treasure tokens. Well, that's fun. More treasure tokens. And until end of turn, you may cast an instant and sorcery spells from any graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, if a spell cast this way will be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. Exile the grave work. Then return it to the battlefield front face up. So back into Urabrask. So at the very end, its final chapter, you can cast spells from any graveyard. This would be an excellent card for a Commander Raid game. Because you quick fire spells. And you can cast spells from your partner's graveyards. So I like this dude. Next up, we have Scornblade Berserker. A black mana for a 0/1 human berserker with backup 1. To remind you what backup is, you can put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. If it's another creature, it gains the following ability until end of turn. Pay 1 and sacrifice this creature to draw a card. So and finally, for this page, we have Invasion of Amonkhet. Blue, black, and 1 for a 4 damage battle. When it enters the battlefield, each player mills 3 cards. Then each opponent discards a card, and you draw a card. Defeats the battle, flip it over into Lazotep Convert, a 4/4 zombie. You have Lazotep Convert enters the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard, except it's a 4/4 black zombie in addition to its other types. So, more about copying stuff. So, you're going to see like a copy deck theme pop up for this. So, let me get down to the bottom here. Okay, we have Marshal of Zhalfir. Looks like another knight card for a white and blue for a 2/2 knight. Other knights you control get +1/+1 counter, +1/+1, and pay a white and a blue to tap another target creature. So, kind of a Knight Lord type thing. certainly useful in the Knight deck. Next up, we have Rampaging Geoderm. Red, green, and 2 for a 3/3 dinosaur beast with trample and haste. And if you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. If it's attacking a battle, put a +1/+1 counter on it instead. Solid. Next up, we have Progenitor Exarch. So white X and X for a 1/2 Phyrexian Carrick. When Progenitor Exarch enters the battlefield, incubate three X times. So you create 3 you create a 3 counter incubator token X times. And you can tap it to transform an incubator token. That's pretty crazy. I like the artwork, though. You know, for a Phyrexian, it looks really cool. So next up, we have Stormclaw Rager. A black, a red, and 1 for a 2/2 Ogre Warrior. Pay 1, sacrifice another creature or artifact with a +1/+1 counter on Stormclaw Rager. Draw a card, activate only as a sorcery. Okay. Next up, we have Completed Huntmaster. A black and 2 for a 2/3 Phyrexian Elf Warrior. Pay 1, tap it, sacrifice another creature or artifact, incubate 3. Yep. Next up, we have Seed of Hope. A green, single green mana for an instant reads. Mill 2 cards. Put a permanent card from among the milled cards into your hand. You gain 2 life. Well, that's certainly certainly a good card to have. You know, you got some life gain. You get a permanent into your hand. I think it'll see some play for sure. Next up, we have Rawl's Reinforcements. A red and 1 for a sorcerer reads, create 2 1/1 blue and red elemental creature tokens. So get some tokens to. Next up, we have Meeting of Minds. A blue and 3 for a instant with Convoke. It says draw 2 cards. 4 mana, 2 cards. But you do have the Convoke, so you can make it a bit cheaper. Next up, we have Knight of the Dew Coalition. A white and 3 for a 2/2 human knight with vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white and blue knight creature token with vigilance. So it comes in with a buddy. Kind of deflects the cost a bit. And in a knight deck, I'm seeing that's pretty good. Next up, we have Protocol Knight. Yet another knight. So this is a blue and 3 for a 3/4 human knight. When it's battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls, and put a stun counter on that creature if you control another knight. Okay. That's cool. Next up, we have Corrupted Conviction. A black mana For an instant reads, as additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature and draw 2 cards. Black card draw with a sacrifice a creature. You can do that pretty easily. Except we have Marauding Dreadship. A red and 2 for a 4/1 artifact vehicle with haste. When it enters the battlefield, incubate 2. And you crew for 2. So it makes something that can become a crew for it. Next up, we have War Train Slasher. Red and 3 for a 4/3 Wolverine Dinosaur. That was another one of the crazy creature types we saw in the Rosewater spoilers. It has Menace, and when it attacks a battle, double its power until end of turn. Well, that's a fun battle attacker. Well, we're, again, nearing 21 minutes, so we're going to end this video, and we'll see you on the next video.